Hey there, Schwermetallisch here. This week I had the pleasure to talk to Christian Pulkinen of the band Simulacrum. Simulacrum is a prog metal band um, based in Finland, in Turku to be precise. I did a review some time ago. I think it's maybe 10 days ago. Great music. And yeah, I was not too surprised to find out that Christian is a dope guy, and yeah, we had a lot to talk about. Yeah, to wisecrack about prog music more on his part than on mine because I'm not a composer or musician or something along those lines. But yeah, watch it, have fun, and most important of all, stay safe. Hey there, Schwermetallisch here. I'm sitting here with Chris of the band Simulacrum from Finland. Hi, Chris.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's a bright day in Germany, and I see it's yeah, sunny weather in Finland too.
Yeah,
So
it's really nice day. Spring's coming.
yeah,
Finally, after the long winter, we had minus 25 at the worst here.
okay, minus 25 is really cool.
Yeah, you don't really want to go outside, but now because of the virus situation, there isn't really any point going outside because hardly anything's open anyway.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're speaking of. It's like you're doing grocery shopping and nothing else.
Yeah, I've been playing twice a week badminton with Simulacrum's bass player, Olli. So we're going to do that, but it seems pretty safe because you are at a big distance anyway from your partner, and there isn't anybody else really close by. So it's better than going to the gym at the moment.
Yeah, I haven't done sports for for a long time now, but not only due to the pandemic, but also due to me being a lazy fuck.
That's
That's
fine. I have those. I have years of this type of feeling also sometimes. But at the moment, I have been doing some sports, and it has helped with my mental health also.
yeah. I'm writing a lot because of that.
Yeah.
I'm doing yeah 30 reviews a month, and since I started doing this whole thing with Schwermetallisch reviews, it's that was in May 2019. I wrote about, I don't know, maybe 550, 600 reviews. So that's keeping me sane and insane at the same time.
Okay. Great.
So yeah, I just reviewed your new record named Genesis.
Yeah, and it seemed you liked it. I think you scored it
Yeah,
9
I
out of.
I really loved it. It scored a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good in my book. Um, isn't it a bit cocky for a prog band to call your album Genesis?
Not really, because this whole album is very thoroughly thought through, and it's kind of like an ode to the whole genre. So you maybe found some 70s oriented parts in some of the songs, particularly the four last parts, the Genesis parts, and Genesis is a band I've been listening to, so so why not call it Genesis? It's like it has many meanings. Of course, it has the biblical meaning, but then it happens to be also a very cool prog band from the 70s. So
Yeah, that was on my mind reading that. It's like, oh, it's a prog band naming an album Genesis. Ha, okay. But I was yeah very pleasantly surprised, and I try to translate this part of the review. It was at the moment I'm getting into extreme metal. And I never did listen to death or black metal in the last 40 years, because it was always like, I know that's noise, go away.
Yeah.
But perfectly melodic music can become boring too. So I said, okay, I will try to branch out and do more extreme stuff too, and started to listen to death and black metal to broaden my spectrum and do more reviews. And people try to drown me in extreme metal now. And the start of this review was like, I was doing many reviews of thrash, death, and black at the moment, and sometimes my spirit needs some time off, and sometimes it's got to be proggy.
Yeah.
That is it's like your record is like opening a door to a prog micro universe. That I had always there's bands like Spock's Beard, there's
Yeah.
bands like Dream Theater or Symphony X. It's all very different and very sometimes very hectic. If you listen to Symphony X, it's like they try to stuff 5 songs into your brain at the same time sometimes.
Yeah, but the idea is for many of the songs that you have to listen to them maybe 3, 4, 5 times before you start understanding everything that's going on. But the idea is that when people find new layers from the songs on every listen, they don't get bored with them as quickly.
That's right, yeah.
And maybe they even, when they listen 5 years on, they might hear something in the mix they didn't hear before.
My favorite is I know it's lame to have a fave that is also a video, but Arrhythmic Distortions is really great.
Yeah.
Because it's really good in featuring the 2 different vocalists.
Yeah, it has kind of a halftime tempo, and there's lots of room for all the other instruments and the vocals to shine through. So a song like Nothing Remains is very hard to mix because of the high tempo and the constant double bass drumming going on and guitars shredding over it. So it's Rhythmic Distortions maybe breathe better. But I like doing the fast songs also, because you need both slower songs and faster songs and to make a good album or a live set.
Yeah, that's always difficult. If you are a band that is around for, I don't know, 30, 40 years, and you do a new tour and have to decide which songs to put on the list, I think this is a job that can really suck.
Yeah, but when I compose songs for an album, usually maybe when I've done like 5 or 6 songs, I start thinking that what type of songs and tempos this album still needs, so that it will be a good album and a versatile album for the listener.
Yeah, I found it very fascinating because I do so many write-ups. You almost it's like if you do really much reviews and listen to a lot of music, you get the impression that every third guitar player on this planet is fucking good.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, he's great too, he's great. So it's it becomes a little boring because there's no more room for growth, and it's great to listen to a band where you think, okay, everyone in this band is really a fucking pro. So that it's you can say, okay, you're definitely better than this band. So it's not this line of equally good bands that is sometimes very very hard to write about.
Yeah, I have to say I'm very fortunate because the whole band lives here in my hometown. So I've tried to form a band here in Turku, Finland, that has all the best musicians from the region, and I'm very happy that I have managed to do that, because it's a pain in the ass when one guy lives in Helsinki and one guy lives maybe up north somewhere, and it's really hard to rehearse together and to get a chemistry between the players. And but for us, really, the technique is a tool. So we are not competing with Dream Theater or Necrophagist or any of these really technical bands. I always tell the guys that put your heart in the solo or whatever you are doing. I want the listener to, even if it would be a fast thing, I want it to have a soul to it anyway. And these two guitar players that are in my band, I think you can really hear it in the vibrato when they play the guitar, and the style how they play. It's not just about shredding. There's also a lot of feeling in it too.
Yeah, that's a good point, because shredding is almost always just the musical it's like masturbation.
It can be.
It can be, yeah. If you think of guitar players like Yngwie Malmsteen, or sometimes even Zakk Wylde, they are fucking great guitar players. That's not the question, but it's like if you do a solo in a song and it wanders too far away from the structure of the song itself and the melody. It's like, okay, where are you going? Well, it's impossible to get back into the song at that point.
Yeah, that's true. But in Simulacrum, most things are very well planned. So if there is some kind of instrumental section that has shredding, it all flows well back into the song. So it might have taken like 2 months for me to compose this instrumental section, like per se in Genesis Part 4, where that is in maybe 3/4 of the song. When we have listened to it, there's a cool instrumental section, but it flows very nicely back through a drum solo at the end of the part into an acoustic part with singing, and then we get into the last chorus. So it's creating a Simulacrum song is kind of like doing a classical composition. So you have to really think about everything, that how can you make it accessible to the listener and that they don't get bored.
That is the upside to you being the boss and not one of the guitar players.
Yeah, maybe.
So if you're Zakk Wylde and you have a band, your favorite tool is the guitar, and everything is dominated by the riffs and the shreds and the whole structure that only consists of guitar parts. And I think I really think that is a good thing about Simulacrum, because maybe the keyboard is a better instrument to compose with than the guitar, because it's more classical.
Maybe. As a keyboard players maybe have a better sense of harmony than guitar players. Of course, there are jazz guitar players who really play big chords and stuff like that. But most metal guitar players, they just play power chords. So that means there's 2 notes per chord. And lots of metal guitarists don't really have a very good sense of harmony and how to go forward in a chord progression and make something interesting harmony-wise.
There are people that can do that, but it's I sometimes think that's a rare thing.
Well, Michael Romeo from Symphony X, he composes all the orchestral parts and everything, so
He can do that, yeah.
there are guitar players who do this also.
I forgot the name of the guitarist I was thinking about. Because of that, I'm here searching for it. So, Ozzy had a new guitar player in Too Much Light. Gus G, yeah. Gus G, he
yeah?
can do that. Because
Fire Wind, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
And he played with Ozzy, and I was at a Ozzy Osbourne concert, and they were playing with Zakk Wylde and Black Label Society, and when Zakk Wylde played, after 10 minutes or so, I said, okay, let's grab a beer. This is boring, because he really derived too far away from the structures, and it was like watching someone masturbate with the guitar. It was a bit boring. And then after that, the main band, Ozzy Osbourne, played, and at the time they had Gus G, and he plays guitar solos exactly the way I want them. It's like if he does a solo, he only goes 1 or 2 steps away from the structure and shows you what he's got, what he can do with his tool. And then jumps right back perfectly fluent into the stream of the songs, and it's delightful.
Okay. Well, Gus G is the type of guitarist you like then. Of course, there are plenty of people who think Zakk Wylde is the best, so I'm not gonna say anything about that.
I like both, but I like that approach to playing the guitar more.
Yeah, I understand what you mean.
I need structure.
Yeah.
that is my problem.
Do you think that we have good structure in the songs then?
Yes.
Yeah.
And more than that, as I understand it, you manage to do what you do without needing as much structure as other bands would need. And even if there's shred parts, even if there's massive riffing and double bass and structures over structures and layers over layers and song in song structures and bridges and everything, you seem to know exactly where you are at any given time in the song, and that is very, very nice to listen to music too.
Well, the versions you hear on the album might be the 10th version of the song, so it evolves during the process, and then I listen to it, and then I think that maybe this part would be better before this other part, and then I tweak it. So as I said before, and they are very thoroughly thought through all of these compositions on this album.
Yeah,
let's see what will happen with the next album. We have a deadline of 3 years now to get the next album out. So
Yeah, it took you a while to get uh, your music together, but I always think better do something good than do something fast.
Yeah, and we had some lineup changes. So we had a new drummer join the band, and the second singer Eric joined for this album. So that slowed everything down because we had to rehearse all the old stuff with them because we were doing some shows at the same time. And then I also joined a band called Eden's Curse from the UK, and we toured with Michael Schenker and Freedom Call in Germany. That was a cool tour. And that was kind of an adventure I had to go on as a keyboard player. And and that also slowed down the process of making the Simulacrum album. But yeah, we have a deadline now from Frontiers to get the next one out quicker. I'm already started composing. Today I couldn't sleep in the morning at 5:30, so I got up and wrote a killer chorus for a future song.
That sounds extremely cool, and I think 3 years is quite generous for a deadline.
Yeah, but maybe not for progressive music, because it really it really takes time to get it perfect.
Yeah, but
But
it
three
was
years,
worth it.
yeah, 3 years is fine for me. 2 years would have maybe been a little tight, and maybe there would have been on the next album some worse songs. But I think 3 years is enough that I can really process everything and get them sounding perfect.
Yeah, I was just thinking about Jimi Hendrix and his contracts he had in the 70s. Like, man, you gotta do 3 records 1 year. And thought, okay, maybe 3 years is okay. Because people just grinded themselves to death with those contracts in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, they did. They also made better money.
Oh, yeah.
They could focus full time on making music. But it's very rare for a musician nowadays that he doesn't have to have a job on the side. I do have a job on the side, but it's also in the music industry. So I am a producer for actually a classical music company. So I'm producing operas and classical concerts and events that have to do with classical music.
Do you still have the feeling that when you're producing classical music, you learn stuff for your private life and for your dream, your band?
Maybe if I listen to classical music, I pick something up. But otherwise, the production work it's mostly just sending emails and phoning people. So it's not so different producing classical music than and making events than making a heavy metal event. There's all the stuff you have to take care of so that the event happens. But I do like listening to classical music, and when I hear a symphony, say from Grieg or someone, I might pick some melodies up and some influences.
Yeah, even Manowar sometimes like to say they are heavy into Wagner.
Yeah, well, Wagner is a very heavy composer. He has very heavy compositions, but probably all the melodies that any band comes up with, you can probably find the same note combinations already in classical music. It's just like it's processed in a different way when it goes through a band compared to an orchestra.
Yeah, you can't reinvent the wheel, but you can try to to use it in a different way.
Yeah, you can interpret the music and the notes through a different sound and feel.
So the only downside I really had with your record was that I would say the cover artwork would be more cool if it would be painted.
It actually was painted, but digitally. But if you zoom into the picture, you can see the brush strokes.
Okay, because
But
that's
it would be damn cool as a vinyl. But at the moment, there isn't a vinyl.
I'd like a more a cartoon interpretation of that with more colors that are a bit more two-dimensional, and maybe do that for the vinyl, just like like a gimmick.
Yeah.
Maybe I will draw this.
Are you an artist?
Kind of. I learned how to do it, but I like to draw, and I did the logo for my blog myself.
Okay, cool.
So
Yeah.
but I'm still working on a text logo, because I want to do merch and maybe try something out, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, some people have loved the artwork and some people haven't been so keen. But I think it's whatever picture you make, somebody's not gonna like it.
Of course.
Or whatever song you compose, there are people who like it and who don't. So, but I'm pretty content with the artwork. I sent the guy an email that I want this and this, and I want the guy to look like this, because it's the celestial architect from my imagination.
Yeah, just imagine someone walks into that gallery in Rome, I think it is, and watch that, look at that ceiling fresco, and decided it's just rubbish.
Yeah.
Yeah, the sixth chapel was that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sixtinische Kapelle, it's in German. Sixtinisch, but I think it's just the sixth. Number 6.
There's probably guys who don't like this artwork either. So in the
Yeah,
world.
of course. Of course. After this whole pandemic shit show, what are your plans as a band?
Well, we were going to play some shows this spring here in Finland. We had dates booked, but I didn't announce them yet, because we've had to all the time push them back and back. But so now they're pushed back to the autumn, and then hopefully we can do some Finnish shows in the autumn. And then our manager Erik Serda is looking for touring opportunities for next year outside Finland. But we will have to see how everything evolves. So it's really hard times. But at the moment, personally, I'm recording 2 albums. So I'm recording an Adamantra album. Adamantra is also a Finnish progressive metal band from Helsinki, and it's kind of more like Symphony X style, so traditional power prog. So I'm doing their album, and then I'm also doing an album for James Labrie of Dream Theater, which is kind of like a dream come true for me, because I was, as you might guess, I was a huge Dream Theater fan when I was,
of course,
a teenager. So I'm doing that now also. So I'm keeping busy, and with Simulacrum we rehearse maybe every second week, because it's easy because we all live here, and we have a rehearsal studio here, so we are in good playing shape if something suddenly emerges.
And you are allowed to beat. That is cool.
Yes, I think it's 6 people at the moment can gather into the same space.
That's lucky. With us, it's like yeah, this flat and one other flat. It's like I live together with my girlfriend, and we could meet my brother for example, but that's it.
Yeah.
One
Yeah.
person.
Well, Finland only has 5 million people, so it's kind of easier to control, and we don't have the same kind of huge amount of cases as Germany has.
Yeah.
But it's getting worse all the time. So they're closing all the restaurants now, like for 3 weeks, and I told you earlier that I go and play badminton with my bass player. So we probably can't do that anymore either for 3 weeks. So there isn't really much to do together except go to the rehearsal studio and play these Genesis songs.
Good for you guys. We are in lockdown since December 13th.
Okay, so
that's a bit long.
Yeah.
But I'm not crazy yet. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, but we will have to see. The government here has been talking about putting us into total lockdown if the cases don't start dropping. But we will just have to see what happens. But I have my pianos here and I have my computer, so I can compose the next Simulacrum album then during the lockdown if we ever enter it.
Yeah, I hope you won't have to suffer that through that, but it's still okay. Although there's no police roaming around or stuff like that. It's just I try to be smart.
Yeah.
One last question.
Okay.
If you had the chance to tour with any band or bands, plural, you can dream of, what would your dream lineup for it to be?
I guess I would say maybe a joint tour with Dream Theater and Tool. I think that would bring a lot of people to the show.
Oh yeah,
And then
I think so too.
And we could warm up for these bands, and tens of thousands of people would see us every night.
I would throw Psychotic Waltz in the mix too.
Yeah, why not? But I was thinking about the exposure we would get through these bands. There are tons of good bands. If some of my favorite bands are smaller bands like Andromeda from Sweden, and then there was a really kind of like Fate's Warning on testosterone band called Spiral Architect from Norway.
I will have to check them out.
Yeah, they did one album maybe in the year 2000, and it's a really good album. They were Norwegian black metal guys that did a prog metal album. So there was some guy from Saturikon and some guy from Borknagar, I think.
You should check out the band Anubis.
Anubis.
Yeah.
Okay, I will check them out.
One moment. Maybe they are not so far away. Prog. No. Progressive. Okay. They are not listed in the Encyclopedia Metallum, in the Metal Archives. I think because they are too proggy, which is not true. That's not true enough for us. Yeah.
Well, I will check out this band Anubis, and maybe all the listeners could check it out also. Besides checking out Simulacrum, of course.
That's yeah. Check out Simulacrum first, people. Be good. Yeah, so that's it from me for today. I thank you very much for your time and, of course, for the great music. I had fun.
You are welcome. I'm just happy if somebody listens to this music. It's kind of art therapy for me to get these albums and songs out. And
I will make sure more people do.
Yeah, thanks.
So I wish you a nice evening, and maybe we'll talk again for the next album.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so have a nice evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.